Welcome to the show. I just started off with losing my voice. Welcome to the show, everyone. I am so excited about networking with everybody out there. We are live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. My first guest, we've been talking right before the show a lot about our parents, our older folks, our seniors out there. I have with me Scott Fischer. He is the owner of Options for Senior Living. And we talk a lot about what you do, and you do so much, but you also are living something right now, and you wanted to share that, because wait till you listen, folks, when you hear what's going on in this man's life. Go ahead.
Wow. Carol, it's always good to be here. It's very ironic that after 22 years of helping families navigate the long-term care choices they have for their loved ones and help them find the right situation and all of that, and arranging care and bringing resources, that's what we do. Well, however, I also am the oldest son of 4 brothers. My mom's 83 years old. She lives in an assisted living in Chandler. In the last 30 days, we've had 2 hospitalizations, 1 stint at the skilled nursing. She is awaiting a placement in the next skilled nursing for more rehab. And I thought today we should talk about maybe things to how to help families, that if you are in this situation with a loved one that's been in the hospital or at the hospital, my gosh, what do you need to do to advocate? How do you speak to the healthcare folks? As lay people, it's easy to feel intimidated by all of that, what's going on.
Well, tell them what happened
So,
to you.
my God, yeah.
Your wife, who literally just had surgery
Mhm.
herself,
Mhm.
helps you with everything that you do. You run a business together.
Right.
And you have to tell them what happened, because I'm sure that almost everybody out there could relate to this.
All right, well, here's the story that's happened to us in the last month. Mom was living in her assisted living, and apparently, and Mom is cognitively intact enough where we've left her alone to make her own healthcare decisions. So I don't get in the middle of every time she talks to the doctor. I don't get in the middle of all the times. We've allowed her that dignity to still call her shots.
She can.
She can. She can, but it's impaired, and it's sometimes not the best decisions, and so that leads us down the road. So apparently she was having some issues. Mom's diet is poor. Can't really say much about her diet. She drinks tons of Pepsis, not enough water. That tends to dehydrate us naturally because of the caffeine and the salt in that. Mom went into a significant dehydrated state. She became delirious, and she had also bouts of explosive diarrhea, and so that dehydrated her even further, right? She was also nauseous and threw up, and so I rushed her to the hospital. This is about 4 weeks ago, and put her on IVs and started up potassium replacement and all this kind of stuff to get her back to balance and now she's got delirium. Delirium is a condition that occurs that sometimes is confused for dementia, but delirium is an acute medical situation where something metabolic is going on, they're post-anesthesia, they've had a fall, a trauma of some kind, infection, like a urinary tract infection or a dehydration. People get delirious, they get agitated, and they can get psychotic and get their days and nights mixed up. So it's very scary for the person who's watching their loved one be delirious, and it's very scary for the person who is delirious. So Mom's delirious. So the very next day I'm leaving for vacation. My kids are around, and so there's enough family around. Everybody says, Dad, go, I'm on vacation. Mom goes to the skilled nursing after 3 days of being in the hospital, and within the week, her insurance denies her at the rehab. Now, she needed probably 2 or 3 weeks, but they said 5 days. We appealed it. Her insurance company said you get another day, and literally within 7 days, she's out. She's out. She's back to the group home. I'm in Colorado. My daughter calls me and says, hey, Dad, I took Grammy home, but by the way, they said they're sending a prescription in for a cellulitis on her leg. So she sends me a picture of her right ankle. Carolyn, there's a wound on her ankle oozing, and her leg's all infected. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they sent her home like that? So she's back at the group home, the assisted living home. We have to but then there was no prescription for a couple of days. My brother, who's out of state also at that time, he's a physician, he makes sure that we get my mom's primary care comes to the house on Tuesday, Well, another piece of information Mom had neglected to tell us. After the bout with the diarrhea, then her bowels kind of clumped up and stopped.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. And so now it's been 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so literally a week after she's home, I go over and see her in the morning, help her with some things. We spent some time together. That afternoon, the caregiver calls me and says, "You got to get back over here. Mom's doubled over in pain, screaming out." And I take her back to the emergency department. They scan her, they look at her, and they find out that she's got this massive blockage
my God.
because her guts are not moving. So she's back in the hospital Saturday night. Sunday, she's now moving back into delirium. She has a white blood cell count, which indicates infection. Her other blood indicators indicate all these other infections. They're trying to narrow down where does the infection come from. Is her bowel twisted? Is it perforating? Is there is this going to need surgery? What's the story? And when the pain and the medicine and all the things that are going on, then by Monday, Tuesday, her heart goes into a fast rhythm. It goes into a condition called AFib, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I've heard of AFib."
Yeah.
And the AFib is that part of your heart isn't squeezing or pumping with efficiency or effectiveness anymore. It's fluttering.
Yeah.
And so when your heart doesn't pump the blood right, fluid oozes into your tissues, and so Mom's arms are starting to swell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and her lungs are not filling up with fluid. And so it took a couple, 3 days. And can you imagine, have you ever had you ever gone to the cardiologist and done like a stress test where you're on like a...
I've done it once before, yeah.
Can you imagine and they work up your heart rate to like 130,
Yeah.
140.
You
and
can't
then,
do, oh my God.
can you imagine having a heart rate 140 for 2 or 3 days?
No.
No, that's what Mom had.
I know.
So she's already got a condition called congestive heart failure,
Mhm.
where she accumulates and retains water, and her heart muscle doesn't effectively work anyways. Now it's been overworked, and now she's backing up with fluid all over the place.
That's dangerous.
Literally, she's in full-blown delirium, screaming, cursing, "I want to die," can't
Oh
open her
my
eyes.
gosh.
This is all last week. My brother flies in, my other brother that lives here with me, we're all over at the hospital, my kids are around her full-time. Heck, even my ex-wife, she comes to the bed, like, we don't know where this is all going, right? And we're all there together as a family, pulling together, trying to sort it out, support each other, support her, get answers from the medical staff, get answers from the nurses, and get this thing stabilized. Thankfully, it's Saturday night, Sunday, her heart rate and rhythm got tightened up. We've been dealing with the mess and the cleanup of that all week. Hopefully, she's gonna be discharged today or tomorrow
Hopefully.
to skilled nursing, but, I mean, this is, and I know what I'm doing here.
I know, that's what's crazy. I mean, and that's why when someone like you,
Yeah.
who knows what you're doing, and this is all happening, can you imagine if you didn't know?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that you said was that when your wife was being very direct, which is fine, be direct, whatever. She has every right to do that. That was a doctor that was being a little bit.
Yeah. So when the hospital has a physician that oversees or quarterbacks all the care, and so yeah, the reality is that sometimes physicians don't like to be questioned. Sometimes
Right.
they're a little insecure. Sometimes they just want to
Big
tell
head.
you. Yeah, sometimes. And so my wife had some challenges. We can talk.
We're
about
gonna
that
go
little
to a
more.
break. When we come back, we're gonna talk further. My answer to that:
Yeah.
donuts. Donuts to the nurse's station is my answer to that. That always helps. Everybody loves donuts. Now, we're gonna go to the break, we're gonna come back, we're gonna talk further. And, like I said, if this could happen to him,
Yep.
it could happen to anybody. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this. I didn't say anything yet, because I'm gonna bring it back differently, okay? So,
Yeah. So yeah, well, now we can talk about some of this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Then here's the story. Isn't that crazy?
oh my God.
No, that's what happened in the last 2.5 weeks.
That's what happened to Kenny's, my ex-husband's mother. Now, that thing that she had on her, she had them all over. She had fallen quite a bit. And hers went septic. They were literally on the verge of being and not, but they were septic. And then she ended up, that's what happened to her when she left there. She didn't go home. She couldn't go home because nobody could stay with her. Now, I'm sure you can handle it differently than they did, because she owned a home, right? She owned a home, and she was
devastated that she couldn't go home, so she had to go to that rehab for a while. But then that rehab said, no, you're out. So she had to go to an assisted living.
Yeah.
And she died out of being more, at that point, because she started to get better, but she was so disappointed about her life and what happened to her things and all that, just mentally.
I think Mom has really,
Oh,
in
this
the
is gonna
last
affect her.
year, because she moved from her own apartment to assisted living a year and a half ago, and now from the bigger place to the smaller place, and a lot of it is, it's hard, and she's, in what's happened in the last month is a microcosm of what's been going on for over a year of a series of things. Falls, break wrist, falls, smashed her head, multiple urinary tract infections, a wound on her bottom because she's not exercising, sitting on her tail.
She's not drinking enough water.
She's not
either.
drinking enough water. She sits around and drinks Pepsi
You know
all
what?
day. I'm telling you.
Get her some popsicles.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I don't drink water
Yeah.
very well. I hate water.
Yeah.
I'm really bad.
Well,
And-
Kenzie's all over you, I bet.
Kenzie is.
Kenzie must be all over you.
And I have it.
Yeah, I know.
And I still don't like it. So, and she'll laugh because
Yeah.
I'm just really bad. I drink it in the morning, but I don't drink enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, what I do is I buy these, they're sugar-free, so that you can get anything, it doesn't matter. But, popsicles, I might have six of them in a day.
Yeah.
Just because it's, they're flavored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jello is liquid, right?
Yeah.
That's now that it's getting a little cooler, maybe even some soup,
Yeah.
because I know it's
Yeah.
very difficult.
Oh, she's so hard, and she likes her Pepsis, and she just literally will drink 6 or 8 Pepsis a day and 1 glass of water.
We'll talk afterwards. I think they have something on that too. That's in Pepsi, but that it's it's like water.
Yeah,
I think they have
that would be
I think they do.
that'd be good to get her more electrolytes in her. And so she wants to make a plan. Now we'll see if she's gonna live through it and do it.
So welcome back. Gosh, we could talk all day about this, right?
Well, I've been talking about it for a
15
couple,
minutes.
and for like 4 weeks nonstop. It's been
Right.
all about Mom.
Well, and that's what happens sometimes, they go up and down too. They rally sometimes. This could be a very interesting situation. But we were talking a little bit about how to advocate for your parents while they're in,
Right.
the hospital. And, listen, I'm sorry, but I think your wife had every right to talk direct. It wasn't rude, it wasn't being mean, but you need to make sure that you are on top of things and making sure that you can get all of your questions answered. And if you don't understand, they can't get upset with you. Let's talk about that.
That's a good idea. So physicians are just people like anybody else, right? They've gone to school to do what they do, just like most of us have training or school to do what we do. And so sometimes it's intimidating for the average layperson to talk to a physician because they come. We elevate our physicians in our society, no doubt about it. In our situation, this was a younger hospitalist that I think knows his business, but I know more at 62 than I did at 35, right? About my world and about the world in general and people and wisdom and all that.
If we only knew
So,
what we know now.
I'm not picking on younger physicians. I think he's probably a very smart guy. However, I don't know that he's worked with enough, like, the people part of this is also a big part of the bedside manner. We talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So when my wife asked some specific questions and my son was asking specific questions, he felt challenged. He felt insecure. And I think he responded by kind of thumping down on, and without a lot of finesse. And families, when we're at the bedside, it's our loved one laying there. We're messed. We're worked up. We want the best for our loved one. That's my mother. That's my son's grandmother. He was trying to battle for his grandma, and I think people in the healthcare system, having been a part of it for many years, I went to nursing school 40 years ago, at Arizona State University. I would ask simple things. I just asked a simple question today about Mom's care. All right, why is her potassium level? Potassium is an important electrolyte that we have to have. If it's too low, it leaves us susceptible to things like, heart attack and other problems. And so why is mom's potassium low? The answer is because she's on a diuretic that helps get the water out of her system. So she's got congestive heart failure, she's on a diuretic. I learned in nursing school 40 years ago that if you give the medicine that she was receiving to release the water, then you have to give a potassium supplement so that you don't deplete your potassium.
Yeah.
Makes sense? Well, she wasn't on it. And so it's just like, if I don't ask these people what I think are the obvious questions, and I think it's just not my situation, but I've heard this because of what I do. So many of our healthcare providers are reactive in that they just deal with the next problem. They don't do the things or practice the tasks that I felt like I learned in nursing school to prevent the next problem. So last night, for bitten on her bottom for 12 days in bed, Mom goes, "Hey, I think my bottom's feeling kind of sore. I had to put some cream on it today." And I'm like, "Has anybody asked you about protection, bed sore, a pressure pad to be laying on?" She's like, "Nobody said a word." In 2 weeks, you've been there all this time, and not one nurse has said to you, "We need to make sure you get off your butt, and you need to roll over. We need to get it they have devices, and nobody's thought about it." And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, and to advocate for our loved one, and I have a healthcare background, for the family that doesn't, oh my gosh.
Right, you don't know what to say, and
Yeah.
I think that the main thing is that you ask questions, and it doesn't really matter, even if you don't like the way the person answered it, go to the front desk and
Yeah.
say, "Listen, I didn't like that, I need to have somebody explain to me everything
Yep.
that is going on, because you deserve that."
Yep,
That's
yep,
number one.
yep.
And, I'm really sorry that you're going through this, because I know what happened for my ex-mother-in-law, unfortunately,
Yeah.
And it is a whirlwind, and we've always talked about this one thing over and over and over again, which is that do not wait, do not put things aside, you help people find the right homes for our seniors, and a lot of people, you say that every single time you've come on, you always say, people always call me when we're in crisis.
Yeah.
That is not the time to call. What you wanna do, she's in a home.
Word.
She is in a home, she's lucky to have you.
Yeah.
But here, which is happening to you, look what could happen, and I know they just don't call. We want you to call early, we
Yeah.
want you to get on top of these things.
Yeah, I do a talk, and I was at a conference last week, and I gave this talk. I call it Storm Clouds on the Horizon. I have a
We're gonna do it on the air one day.
We are. I have a slide where a guy's got his head in a box, and it's like, denial. We put our head down, and if it doesn't bother us today, we don't address it and deal with it. There were storm clouds, even with my mom living in the assisted living. One of the storm clouds I was gathering is, you can't drink that much soda pop and it not be negatively, it doesn't turn up as a problem, right? You can't eat peanuts and Chex Mix and Cracker Jacks. And
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
all
darn.
the time, and your bowels going
Right.
dormant on you. And so,
Right.
like, these things were precipitating this big event we're now living through as a family, and Mom's in the center of it. Yeah.
You know what, and the thing is that when a lot of people don't have members here, and, it's another thing that's gonna be happening. A lot of people are gonna be coming in town
Yeah.
for the holidays,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be seeing things, and when you do, you gotta take those and take them into consideration. Do not put your head in the sand.
Yeah.
I saw, and I'm just gonna say it, he might even be listening,
Yeah.
my ex-husband, it was like so obvious. She was wearing a sweater, it was hot out, sweater with long sleeves covering her hands, right? She had a little bit of a mark on her head, and I said to him, I think your mom doesn't look right to me, something's going on. She's fine, what are you talking about, right? And that's what he kept on saying over and over and over again, she's fine, and she wasn't fine.
She wasn't.
No.
Yeah, we want to, there's a fine line that we're also talking about, and maybe we do another conversation about this. All right, so Mom's, like I said earlier, Mom's been in charge of making her own healthcare decisions, and we've given her the latitude to do that. When she doesn't tell me of the bowels don't work for 2 weeks, or I've got a urinary tract infection, I need to get this treated. Like, she's trying to handle her own, and there's a lot of reasons for that. She doesn't want to tell her son, right? I'm not her daughter. And I said, I wish I had a sister, you know. She doesn't want to be a bother. She doesn't want to be a pest. She's got impaired judgment and decision making for sure. So all that kind of comes into play, and it leads to the big problem. So how do we get to the point where we assume more of that control for our parents to maintain their dignity, but also do it for their own good? Like, we're on that. I'm up to that line with my mom. Like,
Yeah.
I love you dearly, but I've been in
gotta
the
take
hospital a
over now.
lot of time. I've really got to take over now.
So, not every parent is docile,
Mhm.
right? I mean, they might just get upset with you, and that's really hard
That's
too.
hard.
And we have to be direct. We have to come in there and just say, you know what? You can't do this anymore.
I feel like as adult children, if you're listening to me here and you're the adult kids, look, I want to love my mother. I want to love my mother-in-law. I want to love my father-in-law. We all want our parents to be able to have the life that they want. However, when their decisions about their healthcare is now bleeding over and dominating my world, we got to have a hard conversation. Like, we got to have a hard conversation. Like, how much? And so the other night I had that with Mom, I am going to take first chair on all your healthcare stuff now. No more you running the show. No more over-the-counter medicine in your room. I need to know every time I'm going to be arranging all your doctor's appointments. It's got to come through me now.
Right.
And she's disappointed, but we've been in the hospital 3 times this year with stuff, so it's been really hard.
We have less than a minute.
Yeah.
What would you like to finish off with?
Oh my gosh. Hey, there are professionals also that are nurse advocates and nurse care managers. And if you are a lay person and this is really overwhelming to you, call our office and let me know, and I
Because
appreciate
you're a
that. So-
plethora
Because
of
I got
information.
resources all
Right.
over the place. If you're having and seeing and experiencing some of these changes and challenges, my gosh, give us a call before a crisis.
Right.
We would love to talk to you. We're here for you. We've been doing this a long time, and we're just grateful to be able to have a chance to visit with you.
You are our seniors advocate.
Mm.
You are. And even though you have all of the resources yourself, what you're going through is awful. And I know it's hard, and I'm sorry. But thank you for sharing that and showing it how, if it can happen to him,
Yeah.
it can happen to anybody. Their phone number is 602-845-1320. I'm going to say it again. It's 602-845-1320. It's options for seniorliving.com.